Christ asks you, what will you do when the blessing finally arrives? I hear the echo of your prayers in the silent corridors of your heart. You have pleaded for the rain, for the great flood of abundance to finally sweep through the barren desert of your life. But I must ask you a question that will pierce through the noise of your wanting. Christ asks you, what will you do when the blessing finally arrives? This is not an idle thought I send across the wind. It is a spiritual earthquake designed to test the foundation of your soul in this moment. You think the great battle is in the waiting and the long nights of your unanswered pleas. You believe the true struggle is found in the emptiness you feel walking through today's demanding world. That is the greatest illusion I have come here to shatter. The most difficult test of your faith is not the trial of scarcity. It is the crucible of abundance. The true challenge is not navigating the wilderness. It is the stewardship of the promised land. Because the blessing you have begged me for will demand a version of you that does not yet exist. It will arrive not as a gentle stream, but as a roaring river. Will that river nourish your fields, or will it drown the person you are today? You have asked for strength, and so I have sent you burdens that felt impossible. You have asked for wisdom, and so I have allowed you to face problems with no solution. You have asked for courage, and so I have placed you before fears that paralyze you. Each of these was a preparation, a divine chisel shaping your character. But what will you do when the vessel is finally filled to overflowing? What happens when the weight of your answered prayer is heavier than all your burdens? You see the blessing as a prize, a final destination, an end to your long fight. I see it as a terrifying beginning. I see it as a sacred seed, and every divine seed demands fertile ground. Are you that fertile ground, or are you the stone where the root of this new life will find no purchase and wither under a sun it can't handle? The person who prayed for the blessing is not the person who can receive it. That person you are now must evolve. That person must break. That person must consent to be remade. The blessing is a holy fire that will consume your old identity, your comfortable excuses, your familiar pains. Will you choose to step into that fire willingly, or will you cling to the ashes of who you were, terrified of the heat of your own answered prayer? You ask for a great love, but are you prepared to become a person who can be greatly loved? Are you ready to surrender your defenses, your ego, your fear of being truly seen? You ask for wealth and provision, but are you prepared for the responsibility, the choices, and the envy it attracts? Are you ready to become a flowing river of generosity, not a stagnant swamp where my abundance decays? You ask for a platform to share your voice, but are you prepared for the criticism, misunderstanding, and weight of spiritual influence? Are you ready for your every word to have the power to build worlds or to destroy them? This is the great spiritual paradox of your times. You are crying out to me for a future you have not yet prepared yourself to inhabit. The blessing arrives, and you immediately call it a crisis. The divine opportunity appears, and you tragically call it a burden. The door I open for you swings wide, and you are blinded by the light, choosing to retreat into the familiar darkness you claim to despise. So I ask you again, what will you do when the blessing finally arrives? Will you build with it, or will you find yourself broken by it? Will you rise to meet its divine demands, or will you unconsciously sabotage it, to return to the comfortable misery of the life you knew? Do you see the spiritual trap that has been laid bare before you now? You pray for me to change your circumstances, when all along I am waiting for you to grant me permission to change you. The world cannot shift and reorganize itself around a static and unchanging soul. The universe cannot deliver a divine gift into hands that are clenched into tight fists of fear and control. Open your hands, open your heart, open your mind. The preparation is not a physical act you can perform. It is a profound, silent, internal surrender. It is the daily, moment-by-moment choice to become more honest than you were yesterday, more disciplined than you were last hour, more loving than you were a moment ago, more courageous than you feel you are. It is the sacred work you do when absolutely no one is watching. It is the unwavering integrity you maintain when you are tested and tempted. It is the radical forgiveness you offer to others and to yourself when it is least deserved. This is how you build the ark that will carry you through the flood of my favor. You do not build it with wood and nails, but with choices and with character. If this message is shaking the foundations of your spirit, like it now so this truth can find others who are lost in prayer. Every single day you cry out for the outcome. I am quietly asking you about your readiness, because my gifts are never, ever meant to destroy. They are only meant to elevate. But elevation requires leaving the lower ground behind for good. What part of your life? What specific habit? What toxic relationship? What secret belief are you refusing to leave on that lower ground? That is the very thing that will transform your blessing into a curse. That is the heavy anchor that will drag you down when I call you to step out of the boat and walk on the water toward me. So I ask you again, not as a distant God, but as the intimate voice inside your own soul. What will you do when the phone rings with the life-altering news you've been waiting for? What will you do when the person you've been praying for finally walks into your life? What will you do when the opportunity of a lifetime, tailor-made for you, lands directly at your feet? Will you be ready, or will you be exposed as unprepared? The blessing is a divine mirror. It will not show you what you want to see in your vanity. It will show you who you truly are in your essence. It will reveal every single crack in your foundation, every lingering doubt you've harbored, every area where you are not yet truly free. Do not fear this revelation. It is, in fact, the greatest gift of all. It is the sacred map to the work that still needs to be done within you. It is the divine light that illuminates the very next step on your path of becoming. In the current world, so many are starving for a sign. They look to the skies, to gurus, to anything and everything outside of themselves. The sign is not out there. The sign is the very question I am asking you right now. Your visceral reaction to this question is your true answer. Your present discomfort is your spiritual compass. Your deepest fear is the dragon that is guarding the treasure you seek. You must walk directly toward it. If you are ready to walk toward it, comment now with the words, I am ready. Let your public declaration be a holy covenant, a sacred seal between you and me in this very moment. For so long you have been asking me, when, Lord, when will it happen? And all this time, I have been answering you with a question of my own. My child, are you ready? The time for passive waiting is over. The time for wishful, passive hope has expired. The era of your spiritual childhood is now coming to a close. The time for active and conscious preparation is now, today. In this very breath you are taking, the choice you make in the next hour will determine how you receive the blessing that could arrive for you tomorrow. Will you spend it in mindless distraction or in focused discipline? Will you spend it in paralyzing fear or in radical faith? Will you spend it building your ark or complaining to me about the lack of rain? The choice is, and has always been, yours. The power to choose has always resided within you. My spirit is the catalyst for your change, but your own will is the agent that makes it happen. Do not let this moment pass you by. Do not dare treat this as just another message you scroll past on a screen. This is a divine appointment, scheduled before time began. This is a sacred crossroad for your soul. The path of who you were and the path of who you are becoming diverge at this very point. You must choose. Choose the new and unfamiliar pain of growth over the old and familiar pain of regret. Choose the profound discipline of preparation over the deceptive ease of stagnation. Choose the divine challenge of the blessing over the hollow comfort of the void. Share this message now with one person you know is also praying for a breakthrough. You may be the divine messenger sent to awaken them to their own sacred preparation. This is how we build my kingdom on earth, not with grand, empty gestures, but with quiet, courageous, individual choices, heart by heart. I am with you in this choice. I am with you in the holy fire of your becoming. I am the strength in your arms as you build your new life. I am the peace in your heart as the storm of change approaches. I have already given you everything you need to become the person who can handle the miracles you have so desperately asked for. Now it is your turn to believe it and to use it. The blessing is already on its way. It is closer than you have ever allowed yourself to truly believe. The only remaining question is the one I asked you at the very beginning. The question that will echo in your soul long after you leave the screen. Christ asks you, What will you do when the blessing finally arrives? Be ready. Follow this channel to continue your daily preparation. The real journey of your life has just begun.